This is Murtaza Hussain. Today I am going to discuss views in ASP.NET MVC. In our previous session, we have discussed and learned action verbs and models. So let's see how we can create views in ASP.NET. First of all, we will see what views are. View is a user interface. View displays data from the model to the user and also enables him to modify the data. ASP.NET MVC views are stored in views folder. Different action methods for a single controller class can render different views. So the views folder contains a separate folder for each controller with the same name as controller. In order to accommodate multiple views, shared folder contains views, layouts or partial views which will be shared among multiple views. So let's see what what I have said. So here is the views folder, this one, and you can see that within under this views folder there are multiple folders, and the first one which I have just highlighted is home, and it is named after the same home controller. So other one is student, which is named after the student controller, and it contains the different views. All these folders will contain the different views for the different action methods within each controller. And there is a shared folder. It contains different kind of views which will be shared among different other views of the controllers. For example, the layout view, it is just like the master page in your web forms, to make and construct the complete structure of your website. And if you want to have the common structure for the errors, you can create an create an error view within your share folder. So this is about the structure where the views are stored. So let's see how we can create a new view and how we can merge and we can link it with the action method. So there are different ways of doing and making the action or adding the action views. The first one is to add, right click on the relevant folder of your controller. So controller which is the same as of your controller name. So just right click on it and ask menu pop-up will come up in front of you, and go to and click on the add sub menu item and then click on the view on top of this sub menu item. Once you click on this menu item, a new pop-up window will appear in front of you, and here you can see that there are different options in order to create a new view. By default, it has kept the name of your new view as a view. You can change it accordingly. For example, you are going to create a new view for your privacy page, privacy high privacy controller. Give the name as in the camel case, which is the way of writing the names of the files or the within the C sharp privacy privacy page, for example. So this is the name of your view, which will be linked with your action method privacy. So privacy page, and the other option is to choose the different templates for your privacy, or MVC framework. In MVC 5 comes with different kind of pre-made templates. For example, we have a template for creating create action method, for delete action method, for detail, for edit, and for list means all the threads views can be created by just choosing the relevant template, and those will be ready made. So here I'm going to choose empty without models, and if because I am not going to link or privacy page with any kind of model, so I will just leave it empty. And there is another option, create a partial as a partial view. As a partial view is just like a piece of code which will be shared among different kind of views. So I'm not going to make it a partial view. You can also set a different layout for different pages. If you will leave it empty, it is set in a razor view state file. This is where it is set. This is a file name. Here I am moving my cursor. So if you will just leave it as it is, the default layout file will be applied on this page, which you can see and find under the shared folder. So I am leaving all the options as is by changing the name of the view, and I will click on the add button. So other scaffolding will come into action, and a new page will be created under the home folder. So it has created a new page, privacy page, and I will just link this page with my privacy action method, which will be fired when I will click on the privacy link on the action menu. So Uh, so you can see that here is a brief structure by default has been made by this MVC scaffolding. Uh, Here's an at the rate sign, and a block has been created, and there is a variable view back, which is basically a dynamic property. Gets and Here we are getting setting a value represent an object whose operations will be resolved at runtime. This is just a runtime, and this is just a name of the property, which any you can write any kind of name here. You can write your own name, you can write whatever the name you want to suggest for this view bag property. So this is all up to you. So and here we have given a descriptive name to this view bag, represents an object, and we have written a privacy page. Means we are going to use this view bag title as a title of this page, and here is a heading which has been created for you for your ease privacy page. I'm just putting the space between the two words. So basically this block is called the razor syntax. MVC comes with Razor View engine. Microsoft had introduced the Razor View engine and packaged with MVC first, MVC first in MVC3. So you can write a mix of HTML tags and server-side code in Razor View. Razor uses at the rate sign, as you can see here, a character for server-side code instead of traditional percentage sign, which you use with your within your um, ASP.NET Web Forms. This is the traditional style of writing the server-side code within your ASPX files. So you can use C# or Visual Basic syntax to write server-side code inside Razor View. Razor View engine maximizes the speed of writing code by minimizing the number of characters and keystrokes required when writing a view. Razor View files have a .cshtml files if you are using C# or VB HTML extension if you are using the VB .vb files. So ASP.NET MVC supports different kind of types of view files. For example, .cshtml, it is basically C# Razor view supports C# with HTML tags. .vb.html, basically it is Visual Basic Razor View exports Visual Basic with HTML tags as.aspx.aspx are the ASP.NET web forms which you mostly use, and .ascx.ascx. Basically, these are the ASP.NET web controls. So we will learn about Razor syntax in detail in our coming sections, and we will see how to create a new view using Visual Studio, and how what are the ingredients, what is the syntax of Razor view engine in our coming sessions. So I'm moving towards another way of adding or views, and I have just shown you a one way. So I'm heading towards the student controller. Here in I am now inside the student controller. Uh, the second method of adding the view for your relevant action method is to right click within the body of your action method. For example, if you want to add a view for this non-action method, you just need to right click within the anywhere within the body of this method, and go to the top of the top of the menu item, which is add view. Click on it, and it will automatically pick up the name of your view as the same as the name of the action method was. So you can see the both the view name and the action method name are the same. So I'm going to leave right now for the moment all the other options as it is by default, which the view has chosen for me. In the coming lectures, I will show you how to use the template and how to create the how the partial views are works, and how we can change the layout for different pages. So right now I am leaving it as it is by default. Options will be used. Click on the add button, and you will see that the relevant view has been created under the folder with the same name as the student controller has, the student, and a new view has been created under this student folder, because as I had told you that um, you can as I had told you that different views which will be rendered from the relevant controller will reside within the folder within the folder have the same name. So as you can see, students, and there's an edit for the edit control view for the edit action method, and this is the one which I have just created for the non-action method. So you can put up the space here between between the words, so proper wording can be titles can be shown. So this was the other way to add the views to your MVC application. So you can also go, by using the scaffolding provided by the ASP.NET, Microsoft ASP.NET, you can also go and write the views according to your manually, but make sure to keep the names as is, as the name of your action methods to get the maximum benefit from the ASP.NET. Otherwise, you will have to mention the names. You will have to mention the names of the. I'm going to also change the return type of this non-action method, because I have just added to it the view, right? And I'm commenting it, and I will just write the view return method view. That's it, and it will be return, right? So this is all about. So if you change the name of the view, then you'll have to write the name of the view within this within the pocket of this view method, because as you can see I had done here create a student. So and if you change the location of the view, then you will have to write the complete path along with the view name here. Otherwise your VC will not understand where the view resides. So this is very important to know. If you forget this, you will start getting the error from the at the runtime. You will start getting the error at the compilation time, and this is and you will have to fix the issues then. So this was all about how to create the views. So I'm going to tell you about a little bit about some resistant text. There are different kind of resistant text available, which you can use. The so and all will be highlighted and start with the at the rate symbol, at the rate character. So let me show you some good and the most popular ones as a rate sign, right one, because I had told you all the recent text starts with a rate sign. There is a helper class which need HTML controls, HTML. This is the helper class. This is the extension method of the Razor view engine, which is used to generate HTML controls. The basic purpose is to minimize the keystrokes. You can easily bind your HTML controls with your models with the help of these HTML helper class. So basically this is the Razor syntax, this is the HTML code, this is the HTML helper method. So there are many different kind of HTML helper methods available, which you can use. For example, HTML dot action link will generate an anchor element for the specified link text and an action. So you can just start with it. The first is the link text, which will be a pair, for example, about us, about us. The second one will be the action name, which you want to bind with this action method returns an action name, the name of the action which we have defined in your controller class. For example, about us, about, right, and us, right. Let me make example case, which is the standard, and the next option is the route. If you have an object that contains the parameters for a route, the parameters are retrieved through reflection by examining the properties of the object. The object is typically created by using object initializer syntax. So if you keep it empty, then it will pick up the name of the actioning. So this was there are different kind of action links, HTML helpers are available. For example, in order to display, in order to create the text boxes, etc. So you can write the action helpers here, helper methods here in this section. So there is another very important one is the add the rate sign again and model. So this is another very important one. Make sure you need to write the name with the small. Now the problem has solved. The M must be small. It must not be in caps, because if you write in caps, it means you are making a mistake. So it must be in small letters, because a model may contain different kind of values. So I will use I enumerable. interface. I stand for interface, I enumerable, uh, right, for this one, and I will pass what kind of enumerable values I will use. I will keep, I will write the complete path towards the towards the model within the pocket of this I enumerable interface. So for example, the complete path starts with or right, and my first MVC dot model, so student of CS. So I will write my first MVC. It will give you the option, click that, write models. It will give you another option, and dot student. That's it. It has picked up the complete. So we have provided the complete path towards the students controller, students model. So in this way we can bind our model with our view, and we can use the model's properties within our view. So this, in this way we have linked the two model and the views. So this is all about the models. Again, in the coming lectures I will show you the different components of the resistance index, and how we can get benefits, and how we can use the model binding. So this is all about of the today's session. Please note that every view in the ASP.NET, and this is derived from web view page class. So each view is derived from web view page class included in system.web.mvc namespace. So it is very important now that web view page class is used in our into is used to drive a view. So, and the points to remember are: view is a user interface which displays data and handles user interaction. Views folder contains separate folders for each controller, as you can see, home and student and features and timetables, etc. ASP.NET MVC supports Razor View, which was first introduced in MVC 3. Razor View engine is in addition to traditional .aspx engine, and fourth, and the last one is Razor View files has .cshtml or .vb.html extensions. So this was all about views. Thank you very much for listening to this lecture. I hope you have gained some kind of knowledge. In the coming session I will throw some more light on Razor View syntax and its components, and then we will move on. And once I complete the structure and give you the introduction about all the components of MVC, I will start making a complete application so that you may learn how to start from the scratch and complete an application. Thank you very much for all of your support and all of your